Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here, and this is a quick video just to go through the time I think is the best to use your wildcard if you've still got this chip available. I've still got it available, and this is likely going to be the week that I'm going to use it unless something dramatic happens from now until that game week. I'll go into what that game week is in a second, but before I do, please can you like this video? Just take 5 seconds of your time just to like the video. And subscribe to this channel if you are new here and you like what you see. I do provide shorts every day to do with FPL and weekly podcasts and videos just like this to help managers navigate their FPL seasons. Also, get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts. If you've got a different wildcard strategy or you've got any questions on the players you want to bring in, then let me know in the comments. But I'm going to start with it now. And the game week I'm going to suggest to wildcard is the one I will share on screen right now. And it may or may not be a surprise for some, but it's it's single game week 33, not double game week 33. It's a week before double game week 34. So game week 33 is the week I recommend to use your wild card. And I will tell you my reasons as to why. So game week 33, if you don't have your free hit, but you've only got your wild card left, I think this is a good week to wild card. First of all, Arsenal play Man City. A lot of us will have Arsenal triple ups in this game week. Arsenal are on form. They could come out and win this. History shows you this season, they've lost both games against Man City. One at the Emirates, one at the Etihad in the FA Cup. Obviously, you're going to have your Arsenal assets in game week 32. They've got a blank game. It's a blank game week. They play Southampton at home. But after this, they've got City, obviously this away game, Chelsea home and Newcastle away. Could be some low-scoring, tricky affairs for Arsenal. So this is a good time to wildcard and look to remove those triple-ups. You can still have one of them, maybe even a double-up as well. Stick them on your bench because you're going to want these in further game weeks right towards the end, obviously in Arsenal's title running. But for me, it gives you a good opportunity just to look at removing those triple ups. You can then look at some double ups for game week 34, which is Brighton, Man City, Newcastle, Man United are the best assets from those doubles to own. There's West Ham and Fulham as well. But, you know, you're going to be looking at the Brighton, City, Newcastle, Man United assets. So if you've only got the wild card and no free hit, this gives you an opportunity to get in a couple of those players from Brighton, Man City, Newcastle, and Man United to have them ready for double game week 34. We're probably most likely going to have Trippier and Rashford, those types of players anyway in our sides, but it gives you the opportunity just to add that extra one or two that you might not have. Plus, in game week 37, with the way the FA Cup semi-finals and the fixtures have gone and the games in hand for teams, there's going to be another likely double up for Brighton, Man City, Newcastle, and Man United again. Also Chelsea, there'll be another team involved in there as well. But those four are the core teams that will have those double ups. So if you don't have a free hit available to use in either one of those game weeks, you're going to want a wild card prior to those game weeks, in my opinion, to get those players ready and available in your team. But you don't need to go triple ups on each team. You know, you can get the key players that you need. You know, the Trippiers, the Haalands, the Rashfords, maybe you can double up on one or two, because there's still other game weeks, which will be single game weeks to go from game week 33 until the end of the season. But the fixtures might not be as great, and you don't want to have you know, all of your irons into that one team, into that one fire. So you know, you need to be smart about the way you do it. But by wildcarding in 33 without a free hit, it gives you the opportunity to get the most out of double game weeks 34 and 37, which are only a few weeks apart. And as you can see on the screen here to my left, Man United, who I spoke about having one of those double game weeks in 34 and 37, they play Spurs away. Spurs are managerless. It's the team I support, and I can honestly say Man United could potentially go there and get some goals. Then you've got Man City with the double up. They've got the home game against Arsenal. I mentioned before they've beaten twice this season, have scored in those games. So you can have those players ready for the double game week in game week 34. Then you've got Newcastle, good fixture there against Everton. And then Brighton, good fixture against Nottingham Forest. So a wild card in these players in now for this game week, you're not missing out on too many other teams, from these fixtures really that you would want. Teams like Chelsea aren't really on form at the moment. Liverpool aren't on form, which does mean you could potentially wild card in a West Ham player ready for their double game week in 34. But there's some really, really good potential here. And as you move on to game weeks like game week 35, which is the game week after the double game week in 34, you've got Man City against Leeds, so it's a good fixture for them. Man United away at West Ham. Your Newcastle assets will play against Arsenal at home, but your Brighton assets get Everton at home. So there's some really, really good potential here. Then you've got game week 36 to navigate. Does get a bit trickier for your Brighton assets, but your Man United assets will play Wolves. Your Man City assets have got Everton away. And if you did go for some West Ham assets, they play against Brentford. But like I said, you don't necessarily need to triple up on all these teams, but you just need to get some of these key players. Because this game week here, 37, Man United play Bournemouth in this game week. Brighton play Southampton in this game week. Man City play Chelsea. Newcastle play Leicester. These are great fixtures for these teams, and they're likely all going to double in this game week. So for those that have a free hit, for me, and that's me as well, I've got the free hit, I still think you use the same strategy. However, less emphasis probably on the load up of these assets because you can free hit in game week 34. So you can free hit in game week 34, get the best double game week available, and then build from there for double game week 37. Because what will happen is once your free hit's done in 34, it will revert back to your wildcard team for game week 35, and then you can build in game weeks 35, 36, and 37 for that double game week 37 when it is announced. And you're likely going to have Haaland, Brighton triple ups, Trippier or a Newcastle defender, and Rashford and that regardless in your wild card ready for that game week. So plenty of options. I think if you do have a free hit, another really good option for a wild card as well is you can free hit in 34 and you can wild card in that game week sort of 35 time, ready for the double game weeks in 37 onwards. And then with that in mind, you then need to focus on the last day of the season where Man United would have Fulham, Man City away at Brentford, Brighton away at Villa. So they're not the worst teams to have a lot of assets from. Newcastle away at Chelsea, like I mentioned, it'll probably be a dead rubber for Chelsea at that stage of the season and everything to play for Newcastle. So there's definitely lots of different ways to play it. But for me, game week 33 is a really strong game week to play your wild card. So that's the video. Let me know your thoughts on the video, on my wildcard thoughts. Is there another week to play it? Have you already played it in a week prior to these ones and you're happy with it anyway and you've got another strategy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I'm FPLMattDay and I will see you in the next one.